to talk about something that's a little embarrassing, actually, to talk about. I saw a big. Hey, 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 good evening. Today is August 10th. I'm in my back room and I want to talk about something that's a little embarrassing, actually, to talk about. But in thinking about it, I realized there's no need for me to be embarrassed. No need, because it's nature, it's natural, it happens, and maybe someone else can benefit and learn how to avoid and prevent or combat these things if it occurs in their garden. My name is Michelle. I am an avid gardener growing in New York City in my backyard. Um, I also have a garden space in a community garden. Uh, we are in Zone 7B here, and I love to grow anything and everything I can possibly grow. Okay, Kitty. Oh, okay. Look at this girl. Can you see her? She just, and then when I go to pet, she attacks me. Okay, 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 okay. Stay there, stay there. Okay, so I'm sitting here in my back room. And as you can see, the walls are not finished, right? We are undergoing major renovations in the final stretch of everything. But I say that because it contributes to the problem. This channel has been focused so far on my garden space at home, the poor condition of the soil that developed over the years for various reasons I have yet to sit down and talk about. And then of late, um, an animal has invaded my garden and taken um, residence under the animal in the garden reveal video came out today, but this video probably won't come out for a little while. I'm working hard. I'm trying to get all the backlogged videos out, but this is not easy. Everybody makes it look very easy, but this is not easy. um, I'm not making excuses. This is just my reality. Between work, family, and all the things that keep us busy, and sitting down to edit, that in itself is a challenge. Also, I'm new to editing, but I'm working on it and I'm getting better, and I'm trying to keep up with everything and get them out sooner and roll them out more quickly so that I can catch up. So hopefully you'll see this video within reasonable time after today, after making it. So what I want to talk about, I did mention it kind of in passing, but the video that I posted today was about the groundhog, realizing that the holes and all these holes are from a groundhog. But yesterday I was outside tending to my chickens and noticing that the holes are still there. They're still being refreshed. I covered them, closed them, and they're opening up again. I haven't seen the groundhog in a while. It comes out every day around 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. to eat. I haven't seen it, and I haven't seen a lot of damage from it chomping on anything. So I'm not sure, but it may have moved on. So then that means that the holes that are constantly being reopened are not the groundhog. I started having that idea a few days ago when I hadn't noticed it or hadn't seen it, hadn't noticed the chomping. Also, after I recently saw the thing that I mentioned in passing, this is not hard. It's just a little embarrassing. I shouldn't be embarrassed because it happens all the time. But I mean, hey, I saw a rat. I saw a rat. I saw a big rat in my backyard. Why do I have a rat in my backyard? Because it was looking for shelter, probably looking for food. I live in New York City. We have a rat problem everywhere, not just in the major populated areas or apartment buildings and restaurant areas. They're everywhere. I live in a suburban type of section of the city in Queens. And in my mind, the rats stay near the restaurants, but they don't. I also live across the street from a cemetery. So the fact that there's not a lot of activity, that would be an ideal place for them as well. So they're coming from there. They're coming from down the street where there are restaurants. Excuse me, on the major boulevard where there are restaurants. I have to check because I recorded this whole thing and there was no sound because the mic went out. So I changed the mic. Let's see, but I'm going to periodically check because I can't do this again. I got to go to work. But they come here because they want to find shelter, they want to find food, and I guess they're migratory. Whatever, it doesn't matter. There's one here. So I was outside, was looking around. I stepped into the area where the mounds of soil are and construction sand, which was dug up from under the house. Well, under the patio, the back patio, the backyard, because there was no house here before. So where I'm sitting is where that dirt used to be under here. So I was there, and already knew about the groundhog, and I'd already seen the groundhog. But I was out there, and I was going, I think, to pick some ground cherries, and I saw this low to the ground large animal about the size, probably smaller than this black cat I just showed you, with a long tapered tail. And it was coming from the direction of the garden to under the plywood that was resting on the side of the pile of construction sand. I screamed and then I tried to like scare it out to see if it would come out. I'm not a scary person. Like I'm not easily frightened by things, but I don't like mice. I don't like rats. If I ever see a rat, I'm going to try to avoid it at all costs. But I'm not frightened by it to where I will never go outside again. Nothing is going to keep me from my garden. And I have been out there since. I have been in the area. I've picked up very carefully that plywood that was there to make sure that that rat had nowhere to hide. My son helped me clean up that pile of debris that was there. I tried to remove everything so there were less places for it to hide. Move things to different places, prop the plywood up against the fence instead of laying it flat on the ground so that nothing can get under it and hide there or. So when we moved the plywood, I saw that there were holes, like a new tunnel dug into the side of the construction mound. After that, the dog was out in the evening. I let him out in the evening, which I try not to do. But I had the light on. I let him out and I stand here and I watch him, make sure that he's okay and safe. But he went to the top of that construction pile and started digging. Like he came to me and he was like begging to go outside. And then I let him out for that reason. and he knew something was out there. So he was in that pile of construction sand, digging and digging, and then all of a sudden he was deep. There's no way that that dog is not a digging dog. He doesn't dig every day. He doesn't dig at all, except if he's looking for something or like he hears something or he sees something. So I don't have a lot of holes from the dog digging around. But he was digging, and then all of a sudden he was all the way down here. I mean, how? That means that there was already a hole there. So he reached probably the den of whatever was there. Nothing came out. I didn't see anything come out. He didn't come, and then eventually he just stopped because he realized there's nothing here, or maybe he didn't smell anything. But he moved on and started looking. I mean, he was frantically running all around the yard looking for whatever it was. I think it was the rat because I just don't know if the groundhog would go into a dirt pile. I think they like to go down and under. I don't know. We moved some of the junk, the big piece of plywood, and saw that there was a hole underneath the grate that you see there in gray. And King is out. He wanted to come out so bad, and he started digging. And his whole the whole front half of him can go in that hole he dug. There definitely was a burrow in that area. And look, he's standing in it. I don't know if the groundhog is in there or if something else is in there, but King is determined. He's deep, and his dog does not dig on a regular basis. Like, he's not a digging dog, like digging and hiding things, or, he doesn't dig for fun. Like some dogs dig all the time, like that's their thing. He's not that kind of dog. Ay. But that was that dirt pile. That was that hole, and I didn't know that hole was there because it was underneath the grate. The top of that air conditioning unit is sitting there, and it was underneath the grate where we saw the hole, and that was even further covered by the plywood that was on top. I've also weed whacked all the brush and all the high grass, all the callaloo or amaranth that was growing wildly because the groundhog was eating the amaranth. I had to, I usually like let the amaranth grow wildly, um, and then I will harvest and make callaloo and saltfish once or twice during the summer, and I just get a kick out of making that dish with my own growing plants. But this year, I have not been able to make it from my own backyard. I have to take what's growing wildly in the community garden. So I'm grateful that I have that garden, but I was still upset that the groundhog was eating my amaranth. The other thing I stopped doing was filling the compost bin with fresh food scraps or, wasted food, fermenting food, rotten food, because that I was a little surprised when I saw the hole under the compost bin because I was thinking, why would the groundhog go in there? And I assumed it was a groundhog because I hadn't seen the rat. But now I really truly believe that it's the rat that's going in there. And it does have a grate under the bottom, but the hole looks like it's under the compost bin. But I think it's because the door is also there. I don't know. I need to take it apart and make sure the grate is the wire mesh is still there, and probably do like the chicken coop and put some going down just to deter anything from trying to get in. What I wanted to mention is now the reason I know that this is definitely a mouse problem under the chicken coop is because yesterday while I was tending to the chickens, I saw two mice. I'm saying mice, but I think that they are probably baby rats. A couple of weeks back, a few days back, I don't know when this was, I saw the chickens fighting over something. You know how, like, when they catch a mouse, well, yeah, when they catch a mouse or when they catch a worm or whatever, when they find a worm, they'll chase each other and try to steal the catch from each other. So that was happening, and I saw something gray, but it was probably just the foot or the tail, and it was so fast I didn't see what the thing was. But now I'm pretty sure that it was a baby rat mouse that the chickens had caught and were chasing. So under the chicken coop, in the run, the coop is 4x4. Run area is 4x4, and it extends under the coop, so it's 8x4 total. But the area in the chicken coop that's exposed to the elements, that side, the soil gets really hard, and so there's like a shell layer of hard compacted soil, and then underneath that is soft. Between them pouncing on it, walking on it, they don't really scratch in there very much, pooping on it, it's just created a harder shell kind of layer. So yesterday I saw more holes, even though I had closed the holes, and I put the paver bricks in a way that it should have been very difficult for the groundhog to get back in. So when I saw that there were still holes behind the bricks, it made me believe that whatever this is very agile and can twist and turn, and and we know rodents do that. Groundhogs are that same family, but I just don't know that that chubby little thing could wiggle around those bricks and get into the same hole. So I'm thinking, okay, and because I saw something that they were fighting over and eating, I'm thinking, and the rat, I'm thinking, okay, there's something else going in here. And then when I went inside the coop, let all the chickens out, and I went inside the coop, I'm seeing another hole inside the coop, under where that outside perch, because I have a long tree branch that's screwed to the wall of one of the posts, kind of high up, like a pier, let's say, and then the branch goes down and rests on the ground. So under the branch is where I saw another hole, which I'd seen before and closed previously. So I took my tool and I started like really lifting that hard surface, the shell. I used the edger tool, the metal, a flat metal piece used for making edges, and it's on a long wooden handle. I used the handle as leverage, pushed the flat end into the soil where it was soft. Mind you, after I had already stepped on everything, my foot went down into the soil in the areas that were soft, because there were areas where the water bucket sits on top of cut pavers. Underneath that, there were holes. Under the feeder, it sits on bricks. Underneath that, holes. I stepped on everything first to collapse whenever I could. And then I took that tool, the edger tool, I stuck it at the side of those hard pan areas and where it was soft, where I stepped in. Took the bricks and piled them up, and then pushed down over the top of the bricks so that the everything would come up like a seesaw. And something came running out. Something came running out, and it was gray and long. I mean, not counting the tail, it was about this long, and it was a light gray color. And it ran to try to come out by me where I'm standing in front of the door, and it turned around and went back into the underneath the coop in the run. So I don't know if there's another hole over there or it made a hole that quickly, but didn't see it. I kept digging and went to another area which much bigger compacted. Okay, probably about this big from here to here, whatever. It was big. Lifted that, and another thing came running out. It was a little smaller, but still pretty big. The other one was about this big. This one was about this big. Then the tail, also gray, but a darker gray. It was running like crazy, didn't know where to go, started climbing up the side of the coop on the wire mesh. I caught it and I dealt with it. Okay, I never saw the other one. I kind of went back and forth thinking, well, maybe it was the same one, but I'm very sure that it was two different sizes. So I'm convinced it's two. The chickens weren't interested. Chickens do eat mice. They were not interested. They were outside running around. A couple of them saw what was going on, but they did not seem interested. I didn't see anything else come out. I had already closed the outside holes, and so far today, I haven't been out there yet, but I don't see new holes. So I'm gonna go out there and see what's going on. Um, but I'm not embarrassed anymore because this is natural. This is what happens. And I think I know why it's happening here because of the debris from the renovation, because of the overgrown vegetation. There's a lot of places to hide. Because of the food source back here, because of the shelter, primarily the shelter source. They are taking house, taking up residence under the chicken coop in the ground. I still think that the groundhog was definitely there. Maybe they chased the groundhog away. I have no idea. I'm coming out of the door, so you're gonna see everything I see as I see it. Hopefully, I don't see anything. I don't feel like seeing anything right now. There's the kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. Here are the chickens. What's going on in here? Hey, girls. Should I let you guys out? Yeah, let's let you guys out. Okay, girlies. Woo! Okay, okay, okay. All right, now the hole that's normally under the feeder looks like it's still closed. It's kind of hard to tell, but I don't usually I can see the hole right there and even in front a little bit, but there's nothing. The hole under this branch that I was talking about was there, and I don't see a hole now. The area where the the watering bucket used to be was on top of these cut pavers that were lined up here, one, two, three, four, and sitting on top. And that hard pan is this right here. Bending over to look to make sure that nothing is going to come out. But you see that hole? That space is where I lifted up that dirt. I don't want to do it again now because I don't want anything to run out. I don't have closed shoes, so I'm not doing that again today. Yesterday I had closed shoes, so it wasn't that big a deal. I mean, not that I expected what happened to happen, but thinking about it, I'm glad I had closed toe shoes. So this is where everything happened yesterday. This is the tool that I used. I jammed it into the soil where it was soft and pressed down against the bricks so that it lifted up. But this is the tool, the edger tool that I was talking about. And that is the area where the holes were. I covered everything, moved the soil. I don't see any new holes. So maybe that other mouse, if there were two, maybe it didn't come back because I don't see anything else. So I'll check again every day, obviously, to see. I'm going to get ravaged by the mosquitoes. Oh, I'm feeling it already. Oh, I forgot. I'm seeing this big green thing, and I forgot that I put a stocking on that melon because it's not. Oh no! Oh no! That the golden squash. Oh no! Shoot! And I just looked at it the other day, and it was fine. Something probably chewed on it. There. Oh come on! It looked so good the other day. Ugh, I don't see any new damage on anything. Nothing looks like it's being newly chewed on back here. So that's good. That might be why this girl had that crooked um crop. She probably had a big old rat in there. Oh, this is the area where we saw the um rat run under, where I saw the rat run under. It came from over there in the bush and came across here and went behind this area. There was the plywood that we've since moved. And then under the graded area on this gray thing, I saw holes going in to the pile. And that is where the dog dug up, but I flooded it and closed it because I needed to pick elderberries and I needed to stand up there. And I was afraid that it would collapse under me. Can you imagine? That might have been there when I was picking the flowers before. Okay, I'm going to walk around to this other side to see if anything on this side has been nibbled on. Sometimes I'm a little nervous walking through here because of the brush, but I have cleaned up a bit, very roughly, but nothing can hide right here. And there's nothing much to eat anymore. This is another spot that the dog was digging in behind there. I don't know if the groundhog was going under there or the rat. I'm having the also having the idea that the dog doesn't care so much about the groundhog, cares more about the rat because when he was outside with me when I saw the groundhog and he didn't even come after it, and I was inviting him into the garden and he did not come. But I think like whenever it comes to the chicken coop area, he's like trying to get in there. He's trying to get at whatever's under there, and that's the rat. So I'm thinking maybe he's less interested in the groundhog. Maybe the rat smells different or smells, I don't know. I don't know. Look at this. Isn't that so cool? I put it on a chair. It's on a little um iron chair. Look like this. It's all rusted. I don't see anything over here being eaten up. I mostly see it eating the amaranth and the melon or squash plants leaves and digging around here. But I'm guessing the rat does that too because there were different dirt piles around the other areas as well. Every time I see that black pot, I think it's something, but it doesn't move, so I'm less scared when it doesn't move. Okay, on this side, I never did see a whole lot of. Oh, this is the chicken. Never did see a whole lot of damage around here, except for the amaranth that was growing here. There's another squash over there. Let's walk over. Earlier, when I looked out the window, these leaves were all slumped over, like they were dry. Even back there, can see the area more clearly. I think it's because the plants grew and so the bottoms don't have as much leaves or they maybe fell or whatever. The sweet potato leaves are doing great. They haven't been munched on. Whew. The melon that it was eating over here, um, I broke off a tip by accident yesterday. But otherwise, the part of it that's under this cloche is growing well, and the leaves have not been munched on any further. The sweet potato leaves are growing back. Nothing has eaten these leaves. They were underneath this cloche and they started to get too big, so I took them out and just put the tip under there. And none of them have been chewed on in the last couple of days. There's a nice look at that beauty. Hopefully that one survives. The other one was what? Ah! Oh, there's a bee on me. Get off me. Sorry. Oh, this one is growing over the fence, over the trellis, the string trellis. I don't know if that one is pollinated. That one looks like it's gonna fall off. And there's more coming. So hopefully now that it's come up onto this trellis, it'll do even better. Because this plant came from all the way over there. Okay, so I don't know. I'm really thinking that maybe this groundhog left. Maybe it left. I hope it did. I'm fine with not having caught it if it left. There's another squash coming on. Looks like it's been pollinated. It's doing great. I didn't see any male flowers on this plant. There are male flowers, but they're like taking so long to grow and open. So when that one over there that's in the tree, higher up in the tree, uh, the flower was open, I didn't see any male flowers on this plant. So I went over to the other side and took a male flower from the other plant and pollinated it. The plant that it has, it's actually this one that's planted over there that has both. Let me show you. Talked about it before, but any horticulturist that can answer this question, I haven't done any research yet, but this fruit came off a male flower. So did this one, and so is this one. But it's the same vine that is growing that fruit over there. Can you see it? Let me walk over. It's the same vine that had a fruit on it that I don't know if it was girdled by the tendril that was growing around it or if it just wasn't pollinated properly. But this one right here. So that's the same vine. I've traced it back previously. I'm not going to do that right now. But it's the same vine that's growing these. This one male flower looks normal. But these were male flowers, and they have this swelling at the back like a female flower, but it had a stamen in it, not the female part of the flower. It had a male part inside. Anyway, it was so odd. At first, when I saw it, I thought it had both male and female parts in it, but then I looked at other plants with squash plants, and those I'm itching my legs so badly right now. I'm scratching my legs so badly right now. But the other plants, the male flowers look the same. So I've then realized, okay, so they normally look like that. So it's not, I don't know. It's not a mutation or something. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a mutation. I've never seen this happen, and we'll see how far it goes. Does it mature into something edible? Because it's been growing very slowly, and it's been that size for a while. So I don't know if it's going to do anything. It's really strange. But this is the experiment plant, the one that I grew from a honey nut squash seed before I knew that honey nut squash were hybrid fruit. Resulted from a cross between buttercup squash and butternut squash. That's how you get a honey nut squash. So before I knew that that was a hybrid, I saved the seed from a honey nut squash that I bought in the market at Costco, and it grew, and it gave me this oh, these mosquito bites, oh, they're killing me. It grew ooh, boy, I'm wearing shorts. It grew a squash that looked like the ones that I just showed you, but they were a darker green and more splotchy, and the flesh was very dark orange, darker than a typical butternut. And once it matured and cured, oh God, once it matured and cured, the skin turned more tan like a butternut. So I took the seeds from that fruit. So also I should mention the plants that I grew more than one plant from those seeds, from the honey nut squash seed. And one of them grew the plant I just described, the fruit I just described, and another one grew what looked like a buttercup. But that buttercup plant did not survive. The squash did not mature. It rotted. Wasn't pollinated well. But it definitely looked like a butternut. I mean, a buttercup squash. Oh my God, this mosquito's killing me. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna have to go inside and rub some alcohol on my legs because I don't have any plantain salve. Uh, yeah, and then I'll come back in and put those girls away, back out. Oh no, Kitty, don't go. So one other thing I wanted to mention, um, is all the things to deter. Oh, I put the alcohol, but I went back out to put the chickens away, and I got more bites. I need to put more alcohol on my legs. Rubbing alcohol. Quick tip: if you don't have any other salves or Benadryl or any anti-itch creams, you can put rubbing alcohol on your bites. I just pour some in my hand and rub it all across the areas that are exposed because it helps calm the itch. And it usually works better than this, but I have a lot of bites, and then I went back out there and got new bites. I want to spend a little time talking about the things that you can do to deter these kinds of critters and pests and nasty, yucky things. For groundhogs, they do not like the smell of garlic, cayenne, um, and mint, I think, as well. Uh, they also do not like the smell of castor oil. So they don't like the scent of animal urine, dog urine, and probably other types of urine. This is why those repel agents work. Maybe they work. I haven't tried them. But my dog pees around the yard, and that hasn't deterred him. Maybe the dog trying to sniff him out has deterred him, because I don't think that he's here. I want to say that too loud. You know, the jinx coinciding effect. I really don't think it's here anymore. I hope it's not here anymore. You can get some castor oil and spray it around the areas where you think it will be, where it hides. Maybe even on your plants. That I'm not sure, but maybe. But definitely in the area around. It is harmless to animals and other animals. They just don't like the smell. Um, for the rats, they also have a very keen sense of smell, and so they also are deterred by a lot of the same things: the mint, cloves, um, very strong herbal scents, I think. So I'm not sure if they are also deterred by the castor oil or the garlic and cayenne pepper. But what I intend to do is I did order, which I actually forgot I ordered it, but I did order some castor oil, and I received it a while back. But you know, when I was initially trying to catch the groundhog, I decided that um, deterring it might not be a great idea if I want to catch it, right? If I try to deter it and it decides to leave, then I'll never catch it. And my concern with that is that it may eventually come back because there are not a lot of people in this area that garden and grow food. It's a garden desert around here. So, I mean, I don't know what everybody's doing in their backyards, but immediately surrounding me, not a lot of people are gardening vegetables. So it might come back. And I don't want that. So I'd rather catch it and relocate it far away than to deter it and it only come back later. But now that I think about it again, it also stands to reason that if it leaves and I now deter it from returning, then it won't come back. So we'll just go with that for now because I have not been able to catch it. The gardener friend at the community garden, he is a trapper. He traps these things um, as a side hustle. Um, he told me, I mean, I would have asked him to do it for me, but I'd already ordered the trap before I knew that he was a trapper. I just didn't know. He gave me the smoker that I tried smoking the animal out. That didn't work apparently because the rats are still there. I tried that. He gave me that smoker, and it didn't. Uh, um, but when he gave it to me, he didn't mention. He didn't say. He didn't advertise himself, so I didn't know. But maybe I had already told him that I was ordering a trap. I don't know. But I did tell him recently that, you know what, if I don't catch it, please come and help me. So we'll see. I'm going to keep watching and see what happens. I have to take a look at that squash that's damaged to see if it was chewed on because it looked fine yesterday. It actually looks smaller right now than it did yesterday. Probably dried and shriveled up. Maybe there was damage on the other side that I could not see already. Anyway, so those are the things that you can do. Keep the brush down, keep the overgrowth down, eliminate hiding places, keep the doors to your shed and garage closed, seal any cracks that they can sneak in, squeeze into. Keep the vegetation down, like I said. Keep your garbage sealed and shut. Um, be careful with putting your food scraps in your compost bin. Make sure that your compost bin is secure, that they can't get into that. This is a note to me because I need to do all of these things. And then properly secure your chicken coop from predators. Rats and groundhogs are not predators, but that is why they got under my coop because that one side, I think I had run out of the wire mesh, the hardware cloth, and I think that was why I didn't bury the mesh under there. And I don't even think that it's 2 feet down on the other sides. And I don't think there's any on the back side by the fence. But something could get in there. I don't know if it's big enough for a raccoon to get in there, but a small raccoon could get in there. So those are the things I've got to do. Oh Lord, I forgot the dog was out there. Oh my goodness. Just scared myself. King! See, now he's in that spot where the holes were. But he's moving on quickly. Okay. But he's sniffing around. He's sniffing something. That was my first indicator that something was there. It was a dog. Now he's going up the dirt pile, sniffing around where he dug the other day, but moving on quickly from there as well. King, is anything there? I think nothing's there. Well, one other thing I want to say before I close this video out, if you are here to the end, thank you so much for staying. Thank you for listening. I do tend to be long winded. That's who I am. So thank you for listening if you're still here. And I wanted to mention also if you're here because you saw that post, Asia, she has the channel called Yellow Door Urban Homestead. And she recently, yesterday, posted videos that, for the first time that I've seen, videos that she has recently found that she likes. She said genuine gardening videos. And she wrote a little bit about why she likes the channel. Um, and then she invited others to post their own channels in the comments. And I just feel like that was a very, very generous thing for her to do. You know, I've always felt like in watching YouTube channels since starting my own that it might be a little uncouth. It might be a little cringe, weird, rude. I don't know. To like market yourself in someone else's comments. I don't know if it's an unwritten rule. I just felt like you're not supposed to do that. Like that's not a good thing to do. Now I have mentioned something about my channel, but never overtly saying I have a channel. Come see my channel. But I did today. I saw that post. I saw that post at 2 in the morning, 2, 3 ish in the morning. Because yes, I'm up at that hour because I work at night. So even when I'm home, I'm sometimes up at that hour. And I had been editing the last video that I posted, which was the animal in the garden reveal video. I posted that today. But I had been editing it, and I finished editing it, and I planned on posting it during the daytime later on in the morning. But I saw that post, and I just was like, "This is so nice. This is so generous, and what a hand or what an arm to extend to others." So thank you, Asia, for doing that. If you're here because you saw that post and you maybe found my channel through that post, thank you for checking me out. Thank you for coming to the channel. And I hope you see something that you like. I hope you see something that you would enjoy watching. Again, um, but I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you, thank you. I love Asia's channel. I love so many channels. I watch a lot of different channels, and you know, there was a time some years ago when I didn't have a lot happening in my own backyard garden. It wasn't producing very well. The soil was depleted. And I was just looking for gardening channels, looking for videos to watch, looking for garden tours. And I actually searched Black Girl Gardeners. And I'm so pleased that there's so many more Black girls gardening, Black people gardening, families gardening, more people in general gardening, you know, of all races and, ethnicities and so on. So many more people growing food at home, and we probably can thank 2020 for that and the pandemic, but I mean, I think that's when a lot of people were able to slow down enough to do it. When enough people maybe got scared enough to consider it and dive in, And I'm also grateful to learn that there's a book that somebody put together about Black girl gardeners, Black girl farmers. It's so cool. I have to get that. I don't have it, but I've heard Asia mention it on her channel. She's, I think, in it. There's so many great channels out there. I would like to impress upon you to search for new things, look for new people, support other people that are doing things that you're interested in learning about. Okay, none of us are well, some of us are professionals, some of us are not. You know, I've been gardening for a long time, for over 20 years. I don't know everything. I still watch gardening videos and gardening channels because I want to see how other people are doing it. Don't stay in your own bubble. Reach out. And you know what? Start your own channel. Start your own channel. Share what you have to, because I think I might want to see it. Okay? I say all of that because I'm grateful. I'm happy to be doing this. I'm happy that I just started. I don't know what I'm going to record on a day to day basis. I just take the camera with me and show you what I show. If something is on my heart, I'll come and speak on it, you know, like today. um, but thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tolerating my long winded self. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be doing this, and I'm grateful for all the support from other channels, from the viewers, and for my new subscribers. I really hope there are more of you. Thank you so much. Is it still on? Yes, we made it. It's still on. I'm going to double check right now. All right, guys, I got to get ready for work. Bye. Here's a close up view of the hole that King dug in the middle of this dirt pile. And he was digging only a little bit, and then he dipped down pretty low as if he hit the opening of the den, maybe, that the animal dug out. It goes in and then it seems to turn down there. So I'm gonna flood it just because I'm curious. I don't know if it's gonna work because this is sand, or it'll take forever to fill because it's gonna drain into the sand. But I'm gonna do it for fun. It looks like it is collecting, and I mean, it sounds like it's collecting, so it's probably not, like, it's probably a wall. It doesn't go any deeper or further. But King definitely didn't reach all the way down in there to dig. He didn't. I was watching him, he stopped, and then looking from the window, I could see that it went deeper. There's no way his paws went deep. Of course, I made it deeper. Now, I can't walk on it now, though. It'll collapse. That might not have been a good idea. I wasn't thinking about my elderberries. I'm going to have to pick some. And this pile had a positive as a stepping stool for me to reach this elderberry plant. King, I made your hole deeper. You're not going to go dig in it? He has not dug or looked at that hole since the night he dug it. He's not interested.